Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a sixth sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chain. Can't control me. I got the power.
Good evening, guys. This is the Indy Kid coming at you. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Tennessee goes to Georgia for the first time since 2011. For the first time in the last 7 trips to Athens, and defeats Georgia 75-68. A good road win for Tennessee tonight. We can spin it how they want. Did they look great? Did they look like that Final Four team where it was brought up this week? Maybe not, but I'm excited about this win because they had lost their last 6 in Athens, and they had not won in that arena since 2011. Sometimes it's just good to get out of a building with a 1-point victory. They got out with 7, got a little sloppy late, and let Georgia back into it. But this team played a good second half. It was a road win. They have struggled at times on the road, but they got that win. They're still set up, if they get some help, to possibly win a share of the regular season SEC championship. And again, it's like I said earlier in the year, this team doesn't matter how you're playing in January. It matters how you're playing in March. It's March 1st. This team is still playing good basketball. I'll take it tonight. And I fully expect Saturday with Thompson Bowling checkered out. Thompson Bowling's going to be hyped. Tennessee's going to be amped up after going down to Arkansas and having that travesty of an officiated game. This team is going to bring it Saturday, and I fully expect they're going to go out with a victory. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Flying solo for the time being. Dauber should be along shortly. Just a lot going on. I know we've been kind of away a little bit. It's a hectic time for all 3 of us right now. A lot going on. Is what it is. We'll come to you when we can. Plan is we'll be live Saturday, and Boogie and I plan will be live Sunday. Big series for the baseballs this weekend. Hate we weren't able to cover that slugfest this past weekend, but and of course baseballs are on right now, playing ETSU up 2-1 in the 6th inning. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. John had $20. It was great to get away with the W, look good at times, and then look very sloppy. All cares that we beat Georgia. Absolutely. Where I'm located at is heavy Bulldogs country. We're an hour from University of South Carolina, but it's a lot more Georgia. Of course, that tends to happen when a team's winning. Needless to say, I'm going to have a little boasting rights tomorrow. I was already talking it today because they talk it. I said, I'll give you football, we'll smoke you and everything else. So, again, good win tonight for this team. We can look over the stats here. 75-68. Tennessee shot 44%. Them and Georgia were almost identical. Tennessee 44.3, Georgia 44.8. Tennessee 8 of 25, 32% from 3-point. Georgia 30.4. 86% right at, if you round it up, 87%. Georgia 69 from the free throw line. Tennessee again wins the rebounding battle tonight, 39-28. Let's see here. Assists, turnovers were even. Bench points, Tennessee got 19, 7 blocks. Fast break points about even, 10-9. Steals, 9-7. Tennessee. Points in the paint, Georgia beat them 38-32. So a lot of close stats here. A lot of it was close. And Georgia outshot Tennessee in the first half 50, right at 52% to 39%. Second half, though, it was basically the opposite, 52 to 38 for Tennessee. So it was a tale of two halves. And, just, put it the way it is. No, Josiah Jordan James' team doesn't win. Chandler, 16 points as well, and Vescovy, 11 points. Fulkerson, 12 points as well tonight. And I've seen somebody say, well, Ziegler didn't seem like himself. They said something about it later, and I've seen some of you guys talking in chat. Apparently, Ziegler's house up in Long Island burned down. So definitely thinking of him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a GoFundMe or something. Vol Nation normally steps to the occasion in those situations. I expect that will happen again, and there won't be any, BS violations for it or anything like that. So, definitely thinking of Ziegler. Thoughts, prayers. Hope everything's okay there. But just look at the stats again. Just look at rebounds. Euros had 10 tonight. James had 8. And then Vescovy, Huntley Hatfield, 5. Let's see. Adu had 2. I felt Adu had more than that because I thought he had some good minutes when he was in. 5 points, 2 rebounds. Huntley Hatfield made some things happen with 4 offensive rebounds. He had trouble putting it back earlier on. A little bit sloppy with the ball there. Let's see what else we got here. I think this team's really, and we talked about it all year, they've really settled into the rotation. You know who's going to get the ball. You know who is going to do their thing at this point. You know pretty much who's going to be there late. I was surprised Saturday how much they actually manned up with Auburn. And I thought they may try to outrun them. Their bigs matched Auburn well on Saturday. Out-rebounded Auburn by a big margin. These guys have – funny thing, when it looks like there's been a big mismatch on paper, I feel like these big guys have come to play. I feel like they have come to play. Arizona they did. Kentucky they did. And then in Auburn they did as well. According to the stats, Huntley Hatfield had 2 blocks tonight. Looks like, unless it's not updated, he had 2, James 2, Euros 1, and Fulkerson had 2 blocks as well, according to utsports.com. Chandler 4 steals, James 2 steals. James had one of his nights where he filled it up across the board. New career high, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Don't see the turnovers listed. 4 fouls. Of course, him and Vescovy got in a little bit of foul trouble there. But, James, a big night. Again, he struggled against Arkansas. It was laughable to me. I saw on some of the boards saying that, why don't they just bring James off the bench? He's better because he's probably your best player. I still say him and Chandler are your best 2 players. And I don't think it's any coincidence that this team has started playing better ball since James. I mean, even on some of his off nights, he's still been very productive across the board. These 2 guys are going to make this team go. They're just going to make it go. And I still maintain a lot of years I'm kind of indecisive on if I feel it's better to get rest, maybe bow out of the tournament, the SEC tournament early, and get some rest or make a run. I think based on how Tennessee's played on neutral courts, I think based on these big guys, some of them still getting their minutes, things, I think this is a good year that I'd like to see them make a run and even win the tournament. I think it would be a big year for them, could help with seeding. Last year, I didn't feel that was the case. I felt like a rest was better last year, even though they did decent. But this will be a good year to get that experience in the SEC tournament. Get that experience for these big guys. Your guards, I mean, this is a very young team, even though Fulkerson's been there a long time. I think this is a year especially you get that experience against good teams on a neutral court. I feel that is vital for this team. SEC, I would put them up against any conference in America. this year in terms of basketball. I'll always put them up against anybody in football and baseball, but basketball, I don't know if they're the best this year, but they are very strong. The top four, and I would even throw Alabama in as well. Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, no particular order when I say those. Very good teams. Can beat anybody on any given day. And that kind of funny to say that about Tennessee, the way the frustration was earlier in the year. But we said it. Dauber and I said it along the way. It doesn't matter how you play in January. It matters come March. This team has hit their stride at the right time. Can they maintain it? That's going to be the big question now. Can they maintain that through the weekend up in the SEC tournament in Tampa next week? And then hopefully into the NCAA tournament. Hopefully they can make a run this year. Got 43 people in the chat, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. If you're a regular and you check it out all the time, haven't already, make sure you subscribe. We'd appreciate you subscribing, get the latest updates. Again, we've been just a lot going on between the three of us. And, we'll see. It's just a hectic time of the year. Not apologizing for any of it because that's it's just part of life sometimes. So let's see. Let's go back to the stat sheet again with Georgia. Look at team stats here. The free throw shooting, I feel, has been a lot better recently. Maybe there's some nights where, it was kind of disappointing Saturday. I thought they had some chances to put it away and miss some free throws late. But 13 out of 15 tonight, that was a pretty good night at the line there. I think moving forward, let's look at the individual. Of course, they finished the game with Chandler, Vescovi, James, Euros, and Ziegler. I think that's going to be – hang on a minute. No, Fulkerson, not Euros. Fulkerson was in late. So I think more times than not, that'll be your five to end the game. But I think they're going to go with who's hot at the five, whether it's Fulkerson, whether it's Adu, whether it's Huntley Hatfield, whether it's Euros. All those guys are contributing something along the way. Euros isn't in there to score 10, 15 points a game. He's in there to get rebounds. He's in there to make defensive plays. He's doing his job. That's what he's in there to do. Adu, he is, Barnes has said it, he's the best rim protector. Fulkerson, he's your best. I don't know if I'd say all around, but I think he's your most likely to hit like he did tonight, 12 points. He had 3 rebounds and a couple blocks, but I think he's your most active guy down low. And then, I just feel like these big guys have stepped it up. They've really stepped it up since Conwell went out because we thought that was going to be a big loss because Conwell was coming into his own. And I've seen people say, well, he don't show up in big game. He'd been showing up. He was playing very good ball when he went out injured for the year. So, I think one of the concerns at the end is, pretty good point. Got to be better at breaking the press. They're having trouble getting the ball in. I'll be honest. I'm not sure I understand why Chandler's the throw-in guy. I want him getting it, not throwing it in. But, maybe there's, I don't know, maybe there's something there with it. There's a reason for it. Maybe they're trying to get a quick in and back to him. Not really understanding that. Not when you've normally got a big guy on the court at that time. Normally that's your throwing guy because I don't think you want any of these big guys shooting free throws for the most part. Let's see, just kind of looking. I don't know. Fulkerson 75. He do 88%. 8 out of 9 after tonight. So, maybe it's not the worst thing. Chandler's 62.7% free throws a year. If there's one flaw in his game, that's it. He's got to be better at the free throw line. That's his, if you're going to pick one thing apart for him, because he had a tough night shooting them against Auburn, missed one tonight. But, let's make no mistake about it. Chandler's your best point guard. I've said it before on there. You know, people's compared him to Jordan Bone. The thing with Bone is Bone was a heck of a point guard. He's one of the best point guards Tennessee's had over probably the last 10 years. Not saying he's the best by any means, but took him about 3 years for that to happen. Chandler's doing this in year one. That's how good Kennedy Chandler is. He does not get enough credit because he was a 5-star. He was a top 10 player. He went from a lottery pick to he's probably a late first round right now. The latest mock draft I saw had him going late first round to the Warriors, which would be a phenomenal situation for him. Kennedy Chandler's good, guys. He's not going to be back next year. He's off to the NBA after this year. I would almost bet money on it. I would guarantee it. I mean, I hope he stays, but first round money versus NIL money, there's no comparison on that. He's going to make more being a first round pick, and he's guaranteed that money versus just, coming back for NIL and risking things. A lot of them say Chandler's the fastest guy, probably on the team, if not one of the fastest guards in the conference. And Ziegler's fast too, but from what I gather, Chandler is actually faster. His is elite, and you can see it when he takes a burst to drive in. None of the other guys have that kind of burst and speed. That's why he's able to beat some of these big guys at times, is due to that speed. Let's see. Vescovi, 76% three. I thought he was a better free throw shooter than that as well. Let's see what he did tonight. He was 2 out of 2 tonight. Seems like he's a pretty clutch guy at the line. 76% seems a little low, a lot lower than I expected for him. Now just looking to free throw percentages for the year. Chandler just below 63. Huntley Hatfield below 67. Vescovi 76. James 79. Euros 52. Adu 88. Fulkerson right 76%. Bailey 56%. Powell 73. And Ziegler right at 88. So, I mean, going by that right there, I probably want to hand the ball in Ziegler's hands. I think based on attempts, based on efficiency, based on how many times he's done it, I'm going to take Ziegler to shoot those free throws at the end. I think I would want him shooting them over anybody else. Kind of hard to argue that. I think the numbers, the attempts, if there's one guy I want with the ball in his hands at the end, it's Ziegler. He is the guy. If I want a guy making a play to win the game, not free throw under play, do I want Chandler or do I want James? I think that's a tough one. Part of me says Chandler, but I don't know. James' ability to get to the rim, to make plays, him being the better free throw shooter. There's almost part of me says if I want a guy to make that play, it is James, but I don't know. It's I could be convinced either way on James or Chandler. Ziegler's the best free throw shooter according to the number. I think Vescovi's better than his numbers indicate at the line, 76%, but I don't know. I just felt like he's a better free throw shooter than that. Maybe not. I'll still go by the numbers and the attempts, and I'll go with Ziegler. He's got the third most. Chandler 83, Vescovi 75, Ziegler 73 attempts. So the guys are getting to the line. Not sure where Tennessee ranks nationally. They rank pretty low at getting to the line at one point. Think of the number of games, what they had single-digit attempts. No, wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, I agree with this. I mean, his speed, his creativity, kind of hard to argue that. It's I think if you're tied, if you need that shot at the end, I think you got to go 4-5 guards. Maybe you go with James, Vescovi. Depending on Powell's confidence, I don't feel he's had it. Obviously, Ziegler's in there as well. But kind of hard to argue. Chandler Chandler's a special player, guys. And I know he's had his moments of being in a funk, but you'd be hard pressed for me to, and I'm, maybe there's some point guards I'm not thinking of in the conference that are better, but I'm pretty happy with what Tennessee's got with Chandler and Ziegler. And Barnes has said it's one of the best. I don't know if he said it's the best, but he said it's one of the best point guard combos he's had. If this team makes a run this year, it's going to be because of those guards. I really feel there'll be some teams that they'll cause matchups for. Let's see. I don't know, man. His defense was keeping him off the court, fair or not, for a while, and I really feel that it got to the point, and I don't know for sure on this, I'm just speculating, but I really feel that Powell's deal was confidence. I thought Powell did some good things in coming in. I thought he was active, made some good hustle plays. He helped save a ball going out of bounds. He helped a second chance. So, I mean, I'll give him credit. In the time he was in tonight, he was giving it all he had. Now, he only got 6 minutes, but I feel it was an efficient 6 minutes just from the standpoint of getting a second chance basket, saving one out of bounds. So he did his job during that time. Doesn't look like he shot any. He got a rebound as well. I don't see anything changing with him this year. I think it kind of is what it is. I mean, there's games he's not even playing or he's barely playing. I don't see that. I don't really foresee that changing down the line. Let's see. Andy, comment on Rick Barnes shaming. You guys feel free to chime in on this. I think Rick Barnes has a point. Does he not? I mean, you just beat the number 3 team, and then your crowd chants that basically you beat a team that's not as good as your ranking. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not that much of a fan of that chant either. I think it takes away from what your team just did. I totally agree with Barnes on it. Last thing I want is my team's win being taken away. It being not as big of a deal as it should have been. I mean, they beat the number 3 team in the nation at home. I have no problem at all with him saying that. No problem. And, he's entitled to his opinion on it. But if I were the coach, I'd be like, I wouldn't like it either. And especially with especially with the trouble they've had with Auburn over the years. And then that second half, they handled Auburn. They tried to let Auburn back into it, just get careless at the end. But still, I don't think I'd be crazy about my fans hollering overrated either. But yeah, fans can have fun. I mean, Barnes wasn't hating on them. He just stated a point. But I don't blame him. I mean, that's an old chant. It's been around for years. I remember it going back as long as I can remember. But you're never going to see me upset with beating Bruce Pearl. Never. I mean, there's Auburn danced on the logo. Yeah, that's Bush League. And I can't believe Pearl. I don't know. Pearl likes to run his mouth some. I guess I can believe it. He's kind of a cocky guy. But, it's stupid. It's come back to bite him multiple times. But we'll see him again. I'd like to see Tennessee see him again in the SEC tournament and send him to the house again. Show him it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't just home court advantage. Because they basically let Smith do the scoring, and one of the guards for Auburn scored, but Kessler wasn't much of a factor. And that was a testament to those big guys. Let's see. We're at the 24-minute mark. 50 people watching right now. Let me see how many thumbs up we got here. I have not pulled that up. Let me pull up the old YouTube. $50 watching, and we have got 33 thumbs up. So if you haven't already, guys, and you're watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Helps drive the algorithm, helps drive the statistics and stuff. So let's see. We'll see here if Dauber doesn't come along shortly. We may wrap this thing up here in a few. Not sure how long I can go on this, but big one coming up Saturday: Tennessee and Arkansas. Could be a lot riding on it, depending on what happens tomorrow night. Does Auburn go down to Mississippi State? Mississippi State's kind of flamed out, and I thought they were a better team than they were earlier in the year. They come out of the gates, looked like a good team, really good team, and then it's just like they just kind of fizzled out at that point. So they don't look to be a tournament team unless they make a. I think they about have to win the conference tournament next week. I don't see it happening, but stranger things have happened before. Arkansas, it is a noon game on Saturday. So checkerboarding, if you're going, make sure you're looking at your section to see, are you in orange or are you in white? If you're not, based on the plan is to be live after it and wrap that up. We'll have the tournament coverage for you the rest of the way, and then we'll flip it over to baseball for the year. And Tennessee's still holding a 3-1 lead tonight over ETSU. Facing a bit better team. Their pitching's done pretty good. Jordan Beck had a good throw to the plate that saved a run, or it would have been a tie game at the time. Baseballs, man, they've been rolling. We'll see what they got this weekend, though. Going down to Texas, playing Texas Friday night. I'm excited about that game. Chase Burns takes the mound Friday night against the number one team in the nation. I am really excited about that game to see how they fare against Texas. It's going to be a test, but it's a good early season test for them as well. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if it's a team that can win the entire thing. I mean, you never know. You never know about matchups. They beat some really good teams in Thompson Bowling. It's going to be a matter of, can it translate over to the NCAA tournament or not? Matchups is going to be a big – some of you guys have said that as well earlier in the year. Matchups is going to be key for this team as well. I think they'll match up their offense. We were looking at stats one night, and – Tennessee ranks, top 5 in defense, third the last I saw, and their offensive efficiency is better than you think. It was top 40 at the time. So this, they went through a lull offensively, but now, I mean, their offense has been pretty good. And even on, somewhat of an off night tonight, they scored 75. So that's off nights earlier. They were scoring in the 60s. And they even had some games, I think, in the 50s as well. So offense has definitely been better along the way. I mean, you look at against Arkansas, they lost 58-48. Quite a few games in a row where they were in the 80s. Lost Texas 52-51. They were on a bit of a streak in the 60s. So, I mean, their offense has actually picked up as years go along because they had a streak of games where it was 60s and 70s. So they've been pretty consistent other than Texas and other than Arkansas being around 70. Now, obviously they had 67 against Auburn, but that was it for that. Let's see. 3. I would rather have a 3 than a 4 or 5. I would almost rather have a 6. Now, I mean, you're in that range anywhere from 4 to 7, where you've got to bring it. I mean, you got to bring it at 3. You're going to have to bring it any seed you want, but I don't know that 4. I don't like the 4 seed. Don't like that 4 or 5. Let's see. Yes, if Tennessee doesn't lose, if they beat Arkansas and they win the SEC tournament, I don't see how you cannot put them as a number 2 seed. I don't see any way they can't be. Good question there. I don't see any way. If they're a 3rd seed, they're probably the top 3rd seed of the group. But if they went out, the role they're on, the teams they've beaten, and especially if they went through a gauntlet of teams and beat, say, Auburn and beat a Kentucky to win the SEC tournament, just throwing that out, or Arkansas, there is no way you cannot give them a 2 seed. I just don't see it. I don't see a 1 seed. I just can't think there'd have to be a drastic difference on that. Because you're looking at pull up the top 25 here right now. We'll kind of look at, I mean, you got Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Duke. That's your top 4. It's going to be hard to knock them off that 1 line. I really believe, especially Gonzaga and Arizona. Got Duke, Auburn, Kansas, Kentucky, Purdue, Providence, Wisconsin. That rounds out your top 10. Villanova, Texas Tech, Tennessee. I don't see any way Tennessee gets to a 1. I'd see them get to a 2. But, I mean, you got to factor in as well. Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Duke. Those are going to be 1 or 2 seeds. Kansas, Purdue. I mean, Providence setting 24-3. Wisconsin, Villanova, Texas. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility Tennessee could only climb as high as a 3. I think if they were to win out and win the SEC tournament, I really think they would have a strong case for a 2. But I don't know. You got to think the year, it's kind of an interesting point. The year that they went to the Sweet 16, they were a 6th seed. Or I'm sorry, when they went to the Elite 8, they were a 6th seed because they beat Ohio State and then lost to Michigan State. Going to the Final Four game, I thought they had every chance to win that year. Let's see here. Gonzaga plays more of their top games early. I mean, we'll see. They've yet to kind of get over that hump and win one. We'll see. Is this the year Gonzaga does it? I mean, Arizona's look good. Baylor, I mean, they're the defending champs. It's kind of to be the man, you got to beat the man. Duke's playing good ball right now. They've won 6 in a row. I mean, I still, even though Tennessee beat Auburn, I would not discount Auburn. Same with Kentucky. I would not discount either of those teams if they're on. Very good teams, both of them are. I would like to somehow, and I would not be a bit surprised because it's really funny how it works out sometimes. Depending on seeding, it would not shock me at all if somehow Tennessee and Memphis get matched in a potential 2nd round game or whatever they call it now, 3rd round. But anyhow, it will be a round of 32 games. It would not shock me one bit if Tennessee ends up a 3 seed, if somehow Memphis didn't end up a 6 seed along those lines, or for 4s and 5s or something along those lines. It would not shock me one bit. See, Memphis, according to, I've got the AP top 25, they're not ranked. So, coaches poll, they're not ranked. I honestly don't know Memphis. I don't even care enough about Memphis to know what their record is, honestly. But any guys that know it, y'all can let me know in the bottom. But let's see. I mean, this is a good, I think Memphis is a bubble team right now, if I'm not mistaken. Everything, the last things I've seen says that Memphis is a bubble team. So, and see, while we're waiting here as well, of course, You guys get a chance, let me share the screen here with you. Probably get ready to wrap this thing up here pretty soon, but if you have not, check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. Talkin VAWLS merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Got the TVA Jam unisex t-shirt. There's your tank top for all you guys that think you got muscles like Hulk Hogan. You can go out and show his off. And there's the sweatshirts, Talkin VAWLS retro t-shirts, women's racerback. There you go. You guys that think you got the big muscles, you can get that racerback. Get you a big one. Unisex tank, VAWLS State Pride merchandise t-shirts, baseball sleeve t-shirt, and hoodie. There's the Talkin VAWLS flat bill cap, toboggan. There's the Diamond VAWLS merchandise. Diamond VAWLS up 4-1 right now in the top of the 8th inning. There's Talkin VAWLS basketball Vol hoops and the old school Talkin VAWLS podcast t-shirt, old school and hoodie. And there's your mug. There's your water bottle. So if you guys get a chance, bonfire.com/Talkin VAWLS. Let's see where we're at here. Again, I think get ready to wrap this thing up about the 37-minute mark. Not much else I can go on about. Again, I'm ecstatic. I am actually ecstatic about this win tonight. No, it wasn't beautiful, wasn't beautifully played, but you know, they can learn from this game. They can see some things they can work on. But like I said to start this telecast, Tennessee had not won in Athens in 11 years. There are some good teams who've gone to Athens and came up short. They had lost 6 in a row going in. Hats off to this team for going down. They did what it took to win that game. And again, guys, you know, kind of keep an eye out with Sakai Ziegler. Apparently, mother's house up in Long Island. Not sure if it burned to the ground. Not sure what all happened there. But Tennessee always rises to the occasion when it counts. I would imagine you'll see something out there where you can donate again as well. But I think I'm going to get out here on that one, guys. Tennessee, again, 75-68. Plan is, and, you know, like things have happened the last couple of weeks, things happen sometimes, but final regular season game Saturday against Arkansas, 12 p.m. Plan is to be live with you afterwards. We'll see if this team can finish out strong, go into the SEC tournament on a roll. I fully expect Tennessee and Thompson Bowling Arena is going to bring it on Saturday. It's going to be a hostile environment. Hopefully some of those cheapy charge calls will be blocks on Saturday. And to mention that, it was called right tonight. In my opinion, the Georgia guy who dunked on Vescovy, he did move under him at the last minute. If that would have been at Arkansas 2 weeks ago, that would have been a charge. So I felt the officials got that right. I had no problem with it. That's the way it should be each time. If a guy is barely moving his feet under him, that is a block. Good call on the officials for that. But not already. Tennessee still playing baseball. 4-1 on ETSU. It is into the bottom of the 8th. Just had a long fly out there. But I'm going to get out here, guys. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good Wednesday. My name is the Indy Kid. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. You guys take care. Go Big Orange.
The songs I like being poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.